I'm Adriana, and you're watching the Spiritual Awakening with Adriana channel. Today, I'm again tackling a tricky subject, the subject of rethinking love and monogamy and marriage and all those tough questions. I again have to start with a disclaimer. If this topic offends you in any way, if you disagree with me, please move on, dislike if you want, but do not take it personally. I'm just telling you my opinion, and I'm not trying to change you or insult you. I accept your opinions, no matter what they are, and I accept your right to have them. I think that you are right to have your own opinion, but the only thing that I wish for you is to respect my opinions in return. I do not consider myself to be right or you to be wrong, or even if your opinion differs from mine 180%, but I also expect the same courtesy from you. So if you don't want to hear my views on love and rethinking love, please do not watch any further. When you are started with your spiritual awakening, you will start thinking about lots of things and discovering new views and new points of view from where you were before. And you will see lots of things in a new light. One of the topics that will catch your attention as you will mature and grow will definitely be the topic of love. And you might find yourself completely changed and completely amazed with how easy it is to change when you start thinking about things and when things start to make more sense than they used to before. So let me give you some of my thoughts on this topic. I do not equal sex with love, but I cannot separate love from sex. I'm talking about romantic love, of course. In French, the word for orgasm is a little death. In a way, this temporary bliss that we experience from sex, for French, is likened to death. And death is, as far as we know, the state in which we are closest to God. It is well known that when Steve Jobs was dying, he said, wow, just wow. Basically, we have all hopefully been there. I mean, in orgasm, not in death. And it is a mystery to me how our society has managed to equal sex, the activity that leads to this blissful state of consciousness, with something dirty and something that should make us ashamed. I will not go into how that came to be, but I'm quite certain that higher power, the God, however we want to call it, does not have anything about sex, anything against sex. Quite on the contrary. Sex creates life, and it is the closest we come to being godlike creatures when we create another life. Sex makes us happy and brings us to the blissful state that is impossible to forget once you experience it. Sex is not bad, it is part of the evolution of us, the human race, and it should be redefined. And especially when we talk about women, there is also a huge disparity between the way in which society sees a man that gets laid is like a stud, and the woman that gets laid is a slut. So we have put so much shame with sex, and we have made it something unnatural. We have made it something dirty, and we should be ashamed of, and that is really a horrible thing to do. And from this line of thinking, we arrive to love and how we define it. There are many types of love, and love has so many ways in which you express it. And while it is okay for us to love more than one child with a parental love, more than one friend as a friend with friendly love, we stop at giving us the permission to be in love with more than one person when it comes to romantic love. And I think that this is also a big shame and something that really should be redefined in our society. Monogamy has been shaped and has come to life when we became long ago an agricultural society. Before that, humans were not strictly monogamous. There were many, books on that topic, and there are many resources. But for instance, I read somewhere the woman was back then considered to be a good mother when she had multiple lovers, because having many men thinking that they could be father of the child was very beneficial to the woman. She was given more food from various men, she was taken care of, and she was getting protected from many men if she had many lovers. With the dawn of agriculture, it all changed. Now men wanted to have their land, their wife, and their children, and monogamy was introduced. However, it was not until the 17th century that love and marriage became synonyms. Marriage was before then, that time, something that was done, from some sort of interest, and it was tolerated that you can be in love with somebody else and still married to somebody that you had to be married to. But Romanticism introduced the concept of romantic love in marriage, while before the marriage, back then, before that, marriage was more of a business transaction. And here we are today feeding this idea to the little, especially Western girls, that one day they will find this one prince and they will marry and live happily ever after. But it is not meant for all of us. We are sometimes bisexual, we are gay, we have various sexual urges that are just there, and we are trying to ignore all of that, and we're trying to put people in the cage of monogamous straight marriage. I don't say that we are all doing that, but lots of people have that view as like this is the conservative idea of marriage that I want. But complexities go further, and there are issues of sexual identity, sexual orientation, and people act out of fear by wanting to put people in cages, but those feelings and thoughts and urges are there, and we are not able to ignore it. And they are not wrong. They are beautiful and exist to make us happy and blissful. My God would certainly not object to any of that. I'm talking about the consensual sex between the adults, of course. But where do we end up? Even if you're straight and you manage to find someone to marry you, you are most unlikely in an unhappy marriage, always looking for something that is just not there. In most Western societies, divorce is so common that it is in fact strange if someone is in a long-lasting marriage. And being in a long-lasting marriage does not equal love and trust. Unhappy marriages are very common. Cheating is extremely common, and we are all lying to each other. At the same time, there is an increasing number of people that are reconsidering this and having open relationships, swinging, being polyamorous, and trying to find ways in which they can be happy, love, and be loved. And they're trying to find some sort of form of life that will make them happy. And in the end, when you're thinking about love and sex, this is all that we can do. Do not care about what society tells you. Get rid of your programming and live life in a way that makes you happy. Find ways to make people you love happy, and if that includes being different to everybody else, so be it. You don't have to care what everybody else will say. One of the problems in life that lots of people have is that they cannot distinguish between what is important and what is not important. And being happy is really important, because if you're happy, you're able to achieve more, you're able to look forward to each and every new day, you're able to make people around you happy, you're able to be grateful for everything that you have. And just let go of that old programming. You don't have to live like everybody else. You can be different, and you can still be happy. And fitting in society is really so underrated, so overrated. And the fact is that love is abundant, and the more love you give, the more love you will receive. And as I said, I do not equal sex with love. You can have sex with people you do not love and still enjoy it. Body that we are in, this meat suit, is capable of excitement that does not go beyond the physical. And I can view sex as sort of a sport where you sweat a lot. However, romantic love does not go without sex. And mindful sex, sex in which you have feelings for the other person, spiritual sex, is something that transcends this existence and gives us a glimpse of the other side. And thinking that you have to have just this one person that is responsible to be your everything, it's just ridiculous, and this is what monogamy is all about. And it is also not very fair either to you, if you are not getting all your needs met from one person, or to that one person that has to be your everything. It's horrible. You can love many people and share your love with them, and I'm sure that society in which polyamory would be the norm would be a much happier society than the one we live in. Rethink your love life. rethink your life, rethink your view on love, and see that you do not have to be the same as everybody else. You are a unique individual with individual needs and wants, and your quest for spirituality or your quest for happiness is something that will include love. Insisting on the same old paradigm that you were taught will not make you happy. It might, for sure, but rethinking love is needed to be sure if what you have is what you want. It is if it is what is enough to make you happy. This was a very tough topic for me. I know that there are lots of you that might not agree with me, think that I'm like too liberal or like too brave or something. I'm asking you to rethink your way of thinking about love, because you do not have to agree with me, but you have to find your own way in which love will make you happy and in which you will be able to learn the most, to grow spiritually, and to be able to make love and not war, and create your own beautiful life. Hit like and subscribe if you want more of our updates. Have a very great day, and I will see you soon. Bye.